What's good, everybody? My name is Isaiah Hitchens, and this is Lesson-dary Memoirs. All right, so as always, I'd like to thank everybody for liking and subscribing. Those of you that continue to tune in, it has definitely filled my heart with joy for me to see everybody supporting. This is an assignment that God has given me, and He's caused me to have to steward it well. And by you getting behind me, you have encouraged me to continue to go on and to not give up in the things that I have to do in this season of my life. So once again, thank you. If you're new here, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. I'd like to invite you to like and comment underneath the videos if you like to say anything, if there's like anything that you like to see in the future, anything that needs to happen, just let me know and we can make it happen. This is a family space. Lesson-dary Memoirs is an area for me to testify and tell of how good God has been in my life and tell about the memories. But I'd like to hear some of your memories as well. If you ever dealt with anything that happened on this channel or anything that we talked about, I'd like to hear your stories and hear your feedback. So you're more than welcome to do so. Today though, we're talking about fatherhood. I am extremely grateful for my son. I'm extremely grateful for how God has allowed me to be able to have him in my life. Don't take it for granted that God's grace was personified unto me through my son, how he allowed me to be able to have a baby that was full and he was healthy. He was everything that we desire for him to be. And even now, he's still just a bundle of joy. He's a little ball of energy, I like to call him, because he's always energetic. He's always doing his thing, except when he's sick, But even when he's sick, he still has love to share, And I'm grateful for my son, And when I looked at how my son came and he came into our lives, and we tried to plan for it. We did. I will say we tried to plan for it. We did everything that we could to make sure that we were ready for the baby. We got all the gifts. We had the bassinet. We had the crib. We had all these things. And shout out to everybody that helped us in that time. But even then, it seemed like I was still not prepared for everything that I needed to do. And I look back at it and I realized that I had not taken the proper approach that I needed to take, if I'll be honest with you. I had to take an approach of being responsible. And being responsible is something that happens before the actual time for you to be responsible. It's easy for us to say that we're going to be responsible when situations come up and you're going to fix it or whatever the case may be. But most of the time, you need to be responsible before the action. Before it's time for you to pick up the pieces, before it's time for you to put things together. Do you not know that if you have the proper plan in place, when you get to the action, when you get to the place in your path where you need to be, it's going to be that much easier because you've already taken care of your responsibility. It's easy for us to look at different people and say, well, that person is not responsible. This person did not do that. But there are times in our lives where we're not aware that we have to do things and we have to be proactive before we're reactive. We have to be in a place where everything is falling in line because we took the necessary steps to make sure that everything was together. It's easy for life to fall apart when you're not thinking about these things. It's easy for you to fall and allow yourself to get down or get depressed, have anxiety when you're not doing the proper things and you're not doing what you need to do because you are not allowing yourself to be responsible. And when you allow yourself to fall into that pit, it's easy and it's like a downward slope where you will continue to fall because you're not putting the proper things in place. For a lot of us, what is your responsibility? What is your thing that you have to steward over? What is your thing that you have to bring together? Is it something in your family? Are there different measures that you can put in that can help you to be where you need to be? I remember my mom would always tell me about preventative measures. Preventative measures are nothing but things that will cause you to have something in place just in case you do fall backwards. But even if it is there, most of the time it will not allow you to fall backwards. It will prevent that stumbling block from being in your way. It will prevent the things that will cause you to go backwards or cause you to fall off, because you've already put something in place. And that's part of the responsibility that I'm trying to push on to everyone on today. Understanding that when you are responsible ahead of time, being responsible in the future is going to be a lot more easy. When you are responsible with the things that God has given you, being responsible for it in the future is going to be easy. Why? Because I've taken care of it. I've stored it well. I'm thinking about right now the men with the talents in the Bible that were coming. I think it was one had 5, one had 10, one had 1. And you look at the people that had the multiple talents and they did something, they brought it back to God and they had multiplied it. But the one that had the 1 talent, he buried it. He wasn't responsible with it. He didn't have a plan for it. He never thought about it. He just buried it and said, you know what, I'm going to make sure I don't lose just this, so that when I go back to God, I'll have at least something for him, because he only gave me 1. But do you not know that if that man had taken that 1 talent and even talked to the brothers that had the 5 and the 10 and said, what are you getting ready to do? Give me some strategy. Give me something that I can do before I go out there, so that I can be able to do exactly what God is having for me. Because even if you only have the 1 talent, you still can make it 5. You still can make it 10. You still can make it something that's greater than what you have right now. Why? Because God has given you something, and something is better than nothing. God did not turn his back on you when he gave you the talent. God did not turn his back on you when he gave you the gift. God did not turn his back on you when he gave you life. And he's saying, I need you to be responsible with it. I need you to do what you have to do in order to get everything that you need, because there are multiple talents out there for each and every one of us. There are multiple things that we can obtain in this life, and there are multiple things that we can get to if we be responsible with the things that we have to do. So, what are we being responsible about? I always ask a question, I know, and people are going to say some of his content is still the same. He just asks a question, but the truth is, sometimes we have to ask ourselves these questions. What are we being responsible with? What are we doing with the things that God has given us? Have you set measures in place so that you can get to where you need to be, and so that you can do what you need to do? Y'all, this is going to be a short episode. I'm actually recording right now before I got to go to church in a couple hours. But yeah, man, I'm thankful for this time to talk, and to just share what God is telling me and what God is, teaching me even in this time, because Lesson-dary Memoirs is something that I look at from the past and something I'm looking at in the future as well, because most of this is blessing me. And if you have gotten to this point, we've been recording for 8 minutes now. Wow. If you've gotten to this point, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. If you're new here, once again, I invite you to like and subscribe. And let's continue to be responsible. Let's continue to do the things that we need to do so that we can get where we're going. Thank God for you, and God bless you.